as the view slowly opens, showing the crystal clear ocean of the Stormverse, the water slowly moving back and forth as a flock of geese slowly come by. Suddenly the geese scatter as an American C5 super galaxy comes flying by, this C5 being modified with Calamity engines and having Anton and Calamity Alliance markings along its outer fuselage. Then the view transitions into the cargo hold of the plane where Jax and Catnap sleep, Jax having Catnap curled up around him as they both rest. Then until the view pans up to show Anton, Pilot Anton specifically, watching them sleep. Suddenly DJ exclaims, Anton, are you gonna fly the plane or am I paying you to stare at the adorable cat down there? As Anton says, sorry, it's just nice watching something other than the bright blue impending doom, you know? DJ, rolling his eyes, says, well, I'm paying you to fly me to London in one piece. Can you do that? As Anton says, don't worry, I set the autopilot. That is until the plane starts spiraling out of control and Anton DJ get thrown around while Walter, Anton's co-pilot, switches the controls to him and then pulls on the stick, bringing the plane level and back up to the proper altitude. As Anton and DJ slam into the metal floor of the raised flight deck area, Anton chuckles and says, accidents happen? DJ, annoyed, face palms and goes back to looking at his maps. Then Anton exclaims, what do you need us to fly you there for anyway? DJ replies with, well, we're currently looking for the lost crown of the true King of England and the Queen's cutlass. Both artifacts said to grant whoever wields them the status of King or Queen, depending on if you hold the cutlass or wear the crown. The artifacts have disappeared, and we're out to look for them. The crown is somewhere within an old mountain complex. A bunch of caverns and tunnels carved through the stone. The cutlass is supposedly held by the true Queen of England, so I'm gonna parachute down to the royal palace to persuade the Queen into giving it to me for safekeeping. As Anton goes back to his pilot seat and switches the controls back to him, where he puts his feet up and exclaims, and we're just above England now, apparently. Don't worry, DJ, we'll have you there one piece lickety-split. Which, speaking of lickety-split, when are we getting those new upgrades for our C5? As DJ says, yeah. Seeing as I had to buy this plane for you guys, because you guys kept crashing the other 150. As Anton says, listen, I'm going to go on the record and say that wasn't my fault. DJ annoyed says you'll get new upgrades when you prove you're competent enough to not crash this plane, or significantly damage it to the point where you need a new one. As Anton, still with his feet on the controls, says, don't worry, it's an American-built plane, the other one was a Russian. We're perfectly fine. As the plane starts nose diving down straight for London, as Anton quickly pulls up on the stick, the plane leveling out just above some buildings as they pass Big Ben. Anton chuckles nervously and says, accidents. DJ, upset, prepares to stand up, but Anton says, oh, hey, look, we're over the Royal Castle. You need a parachute out. Here you go, bye! As Anton throws DJ out the plane's side door, with his co-pilot, Walter, exclaiming, you didn't give him a parachute, right? As Anton says, he'll figure it out, he's DJ. As they go back to controls, and they approach London International Airport, where they nearly crash into another airliner as they slam into the runway, the plane coming to a halt as Walter puts the shifter into reverse, and the plane begins reversing, emitting a beeping sound as they pull up into DJ's personal hangar at London International. As everyone gets out the rear cargo hatch, the massive cargo ramp lowering, as Anton exclaims, ah yes, Good old British London, innit? Anyway, what are you gonna do here, Walter? As Walter exclaims, well, I'm gonna go personally do some sightseeing. As he gets into a Calamity vehicle and uses it, as Anton says, I'm gonna go take a nap. Oh, right, I gotta go wake up the cat and Jax. As he runs over and begins poking Catnap with a stick. A 5-inch pole to be exact. Wake up, wake up, wake up. As he pokes him in the nose, and Catnap jumps up and pins him to the ground with his front paws, towering over Anton, who is now pinned to the floor. As Catnap says, "What do you need? I was trying to enjoy my nice deep sleep." As Anton points out a porthole window, and they realize they're at their destination, Catnap deciding not to eat Anton, knowing that it would probably make him dumber if he did so. As Anton says, "Ouch, wake up the British boy over there," or as Catnap taps Jackson on the head with his tail, but it does nothing, so Catnap just uses his tail to pick up Jackson, throw him onto his back, securing the harness onto Jax's vest. Jax still sleeping, mind you. As Catnap says, we're gonna go look for the crown. And don't do anything stupid, he says as he pokes Anton with one of his claws. As Anton says, don't worry, giant furry, I got this. I'm gonna go take a nap. As Catnap facepalming says, at least they can't do anything crazy while you take a nap. And so, running off, Catnap uses his tail to close the ramp door as he leaves. Him and Jax going off to look for the crown itself, while Anton says, that cat over worries. What could possibly go wrong? Walking away, the view pans up and out of the cargo plane, then out the hangar as the GSA airship flies past the airport. As the airship goes into hover mode just off the coast of England, or London, whatever you want to call it. As Jessica says, there she is. The big, beautiful city of London. A historical, massive city. And that crown will be mine. As TGG exclaims, what about the cutlass? As Jessica says, that cutlass has fuck all value to me. Mr. TGG, you ready yet? As TGG says, yep, you think you can handle flying the Leviathan? As Jessica says, my father built one of these decades ago. Who's to say I can't fly a more modern version that I had to design? As TGG says, yeah, but I'm the one who kind of had to work on all the flight controls and main centrifusions. Jessica says, oh, shut up. Catnap Boss? Catnap Boss. As Catnap Boss turns in his chair slowly. Never mind. I forgot you're on break after you got beat by that Satum. Don't worry, hon. Just do what you're doing. As Jessica turns away in her rotating chair, the Catnap Boss going back to looking at his screens. We've deployed all our agents to where they need to be to get the missing artifacts. Now, as she leans back in her chair, we wait. As TGG leaves saying, don't crash the airship while I'm gone. As Jessica says, if that Australian man can fly this fucker, I can do that too. As she accidentally hits a button that deactivates all the left engines, causing the whole airship to rotate and nearly tip over. Powering it back on, she says, accidents happen. Ugh, fucking hell, stupid airship. As she then pulls out the massive 100-page manual and begins flipping through it. The view going to TGG as he takes a squad of 5 GSA infantry with him. Entering the armory, those infantry get loaded up with GSA flint knock rifles. The rifles being only having the name, they're not actually flintlocks, and instead fire 6x6 ammunition through a twin-barreled gun. Getting what TGG needs, they get into a saber-toothed gunship just as the massive roof panel opens up, allowing them to take off and head for the nearby Royal Marines warehouse. As the view transitions to show Catnap as he runs through the streets of London, as Jack suddenly wakes up. Ugh, mate, what is going on, mate? Huh? As Jax panics and nearly falls, the harness keeping him in place. As Catnap says, sorry, but you were asleep, so we had a mission to do, so I just took you. Thanks, mate, but careful! You're running on the wrong side of the road, innit? As Catnap says, what do you mean? You're supposed to be on the left side! As Canup says, that's why there's a bunch of oncoming traffic. I thought people were just bad drivers. As Canup goes on to the left side of the road, and not the right. That's better, mate. You scared me. Anyway, we're looking for the lost crown of the true king in it. As Canup says, besides that last word, yeah, basically. As they jump over a double-decker bus, the people looking on in shock. I guess it's not every day the mates get to see a giant purple cat. As Catnap stops as they reach a traffic jam, and so he switches to the sidewalk where he managed to avoid a lot of people. Are you also hungry, mate? As Catnap says, yeah. Is there anywhere we can eat? I think I've got a good place we can try. As they approach a restaurant, and the guy inside says, no cats, no pets allowed. As Catnap peeks in, and the guy says, you know what, maybe I can make an exception for you two. Don't hurt me. As Catnap rolls his eyes, as he just waits outside. I'll take 2 beans on toast with extra cheese on top, mate. And a bottle of water for the go. Got it. Let's see, now what we got here. There has to be something I can get. Oh, Twinkies, that ain't bad. As Jax gets the food they need, as Catnap says, what the heck is this? It's beans on toast with cheese. It's actually pretty good, mate. As Catnap gives it a try, as he says, it ain't no human flesh, or stuff like that, but better than eating decomposing bodies. As they finish their food and ride on, the view transitioning to show the saber-toothed gunship as it lands outside a Royal Marines Commandos warehouse. A singular guard saying, "Oi! Jettison that heli from this warehouse immediately, you deadbeats." That is until TGG pops the guy in the head with his rifle and uses his keys to unlock the warehouse. As they find a bunch of Royal Marine transport vehicles as they take a light infantry vehicle. The vehicle having a 50 cal sticking at the back, a grenade launcher on top, and a high rate of speed, as well as the 6-person capacity. As TGG gets in the driver's seat and starts the vehicle, and they quickly do a burnout while driving out. The gunship taking off and going back to the airship. As the view now goes back to Jax and Catnap as they look at a map. Hercule, DJ said that the bloody place should be in some sort of, as they spot a massive mountain. In that mountain, approaching the bottom, they find the cave. As water drips from above, and as a drop hits Catnap, he shakes and jumps back. Come on, mate. It's not that. It's just water. As Catnap, not liking it, still goes ahead anyway, flinching at all the water that gets close to him as they move through the caverns. As Jax dismounts himself and carefully climbs down from Catnap's back as they both walk side to side. The cave becoming the ceiling getting lower. Where could this thing be? Stepping on a pressure plate, a bunch of arrows shoot forward. That was a close one, innit? Continuing, Catnap pays the arrows no mind. Then the view goes back to the GSA guys, as TGG exclaims, okay, the cave's entrance should be... As they see footprints in the dirt outside the entrance, and TGG hits his fist against the dashboard, find us another way in. As they leave this entrance, not noticing that the entrance they were just looking at has now, as it collapses. As Jax and Catnap hear the explosion, but don't pay it much mind as they continue on. As they look around, so, mate, how's it been? As Catnap says, it's been good. Walking through the seemingly endless cavern, they reach a place that's built made out of concrete. As they enter this more cleaner and yet still dusty concrete hallway. That's good. I can't haven't been to England in a few years, mate. As Canap says, why? Don't you have folks here? Yes, but we ain't on the best relationships. My family are some pretty high-ranking people, but they never really paid me much mind. As Canap says, wouldn't you be happy to have family who are, like, rich and powerful? You'd think that, but it just means they have high standards for you. The only reason I went to America was to try and find mates who were like me, who didn't want to be in like a higher class, who just wanted to be them and have people who understand them. As Canap says, and that's how you met Savage? Oh, heavens no. It was an interesting story, that's for sure. As Canap says, I mean, if you can lay it on me if you want. I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone or really say much about it, if you don't want me to. It was an interesting tale. Savage, after this is before Savage met DJ. It was a few days before the meet the deal that Savage did with DJ, all the way back in the 90s. He got like 92 or 93, I think, but I could be wrong. We met at like, I can't remember if it was a bar or if Savage was trying to do a weapons dealing and I just happened to be there. Funny story. I think he actually took me hostage, trying, get out of that situation, which he did, but he never ended up giving me back. Eventually, though, he did drop me off, and I didn't actually think he'd drop me off like that. I thought he was gonna shoot me or something. This kind of says you're saying you took hostage, and then you just became friends with the guy who did that. What, do you have Stockholm syndrome? No, I wasn't I didn't, no. The mate was just, I don't know, he seemed nice, he seemed crazy, he seemed like he could use a mate to keep him under control and from causing all sorts of hell. And so I wanted to work for him. I didn't mind the risk. I knew how to use a revolver. Parents taught me that one. I'm also pretty good at melee. As a Brit, you got to learn how to use a good old knife or bayonet. And it just kind of went on from there. Even though I tried warning him not to go to that deal with DJ, he went anyway, and it kind of worked out. It's kind of says, are you like 30 or something? Oh, I'm in my 40s, but I think I'm going pretty good. This kind of says, yeah, you are. Reaching the end of the hallway, they look around, and they look up to see a massive hole in the ceiling. Night must have caved in. Come on. As Drax climbs on back on the Catnap, and Catnap clambers up there with ease. And getting to another part, they see a door, a double door, heavily reinforced. As Jax pulls out some Calamity doorbusters, placing 4 on each corner of the double door system, the doors get blown off their hinges as the hinges get melted by the high intensive heat produced by those devices. Walking through, they see a massive cavern, waterfalls everywhere, not noticing all the rock and stuff that's built up above them that looks like it could collapse at any point and take the whole cave down with them. Walking forward on a massive stone brick bridge, they see it. The true crown of the lost crown of the King of England. Of the true king. Oh, unholy narrator. It's beautiful. That is until TGG comes out of nowhere and picks up the crown, saying, "We found it! The crown is ours!" As the other GSA personnel begin celebrating as they begin doing a conga line. "Bloody hell in it, not that, mate." As Canap says, "Who is that?" "That's bloody TGG, a feared Australian mercenary. Apparently had a bit of rivalry with the professional for a wee bit. Now, he's working for GSA. Oh, fuck, mate, we might be cooked." As Canap says, "We can take him. I got red smoke. You have the experience." "Oh, no, but I hadn't been a fight in a while. I'm not the best at it, and you know that Jack Snap form. I'm basically useless." As TGG says, "Looks like we have company, boys. Ha ha." Oh no. As TGG pulls out a unique looking grenade as he says, "Time to rewrite history." As he throws the grenade exploding and causing the whole cavern to begin collapsing in from behind. As Jack climbs on the catnap just as TGG and his men get into the vehicle and begin speeding through a massive tunnel. "Come on, we need to catch up to the mate. We can't let him get away with the crown." As they run out, as his catnap narrows his eyes as he looks at the jeep, as it quickly speeds off and begins going fast as he begins parkouring across the collapsing bridge. As chunks of rock fall all around them, while a wall of water begins to form from all the water being stirred up. Not only is the cave collapsing, but a wall of water chases them. As TGG says, "Get them!" As the guy gets onto a grenade launcher, but Jax throws a bayonet, impaling the guy and damaging the grenade launcher. And so another GSA infantryman goes onto the 50 cal and begins blasting in their direction, Canap jumping onto a ledge on the left side. The 50 cal, due to its poor angle of aim, can't turn that much. "I think we know what we need to do." As they see the outside world, as TGG upset, this rips the grenade launcher off its mount and forcibly rips the grenade out of its mag and throws it, exploding and begins collapsing the tunnel faster just as they drive out. But then they see a massive burst of light, and Jax and Catnap had fused into their Jack Snap form. Jack Snap being a combination between Jax and Catnap. Jax having Catnap's left arm and hand, as well as his left leg and left paw, as well as having a mix between his and Catnap's, primarily having Catnap's head, and retaining his body, right arm and right leg, but also gaining Catnap's tail, which has one of Catnap's paws on it, except it has posable fingers, and so they come bursting out, so the whole cave collapses. As TGG says, "How much will it take to kill them? Watch the road!" As TGG, realizing that while he was shouting, he wasn't even paying attention. Their vehicle crashes and spins through the air, slamming into a random barber shop. As the vehicle smoking stops in front of a man. "Hello, might I help you with some cuts?" As TGG, with his face against the dashboard, gets smacked in the face by the airbags. The three GSA personnel now dead. The other two stumble out of the vehicle, one of them getting impaled in the head by Jax's cutlass. "You think I wouldn't have left him without my cutlass, mate?" As he rips it out of his head, Jack Snap walking towards the last guy as Jack Snap gives him the London special, the guy being more sliced up than a Thanksgiving turkey. As TGG, who is knocked out, sits with his arms gripping the crown, as Jack Snap struggles to pull it out of his arms but manages to do so, falling back and slamming into the back wall. Ouch. Aha, we did it. We got it, mate. Now, time to get back to DJ. As TGG comes to just as Jack Snap flies off. Feeling around for the crown, he realizes, oh, Jessica's gonna be pissed. As the view zooms out, as he shouts, "No!" The view showing Jack the C5 Super Galaxy as it flies past above. As DJ says, "Nice job, you two." As DJ holds the Queen's cutlass in his hands, but nearly drops it, Jack's catching in his hand. Don't worry, DJ. Me and Catnap here make a pretty good team. Don't we, mate? As Catnap says, I'd say so. Where'd you get all this extra treasure anyway? As DJ says, I may or may not have actually persuaded the Queen and instead robbed them. And I may have stolen a bunch of treasure while I was at it. Is that why there's mountains of gold coins and there's just a bunch of mountains of gold coins in this plane? As DJ goes and climbs up a ladder to the raised flight deck. As Scanup says, do it. Really? As Scanup says, is he gonna care? As Jack smirks and puts on the crown and points the cutlass and stands with the cutlass pointing upwards as he holds it, striking a pose. As Jack smirks, satisfied, before taking the crown off and setting it inside a special case, with the cutlass next to it before closing it. Well, that's one of the many treasures collected. Let's hope the other mates have just as much of an easy time. As Jax and Catnap laugh before Catnap curls up around Jax, who goes and lays down. Thanks, mate. As Catnap says, hey, what are friends for? Thanks. As Jax falls asleep, Catnap using his tail to help him get more comfortable, before Catnap 2 also falls asleep. The view panning out of the C5 as they fly across the ocean. As the view shows Jessica as she finally finishes reading the manual. Finally, now I can. As TGG comes back, looking worse for wear. Did you get the crown? As TGG sits in his seat and takes back control of the airship, flying them away into the next location that they're after. I'm gonna assume not. No matter, we still have plenty more where that came from. As TGG says, you were reading the manual the whole time, weren't you? As TGG says, don't worry. Why do you think I set the thing to autopilot? I had a feeling you couldn't fly the airship. So, I just set it to autopilot. Did you seriously not notice? As Jessica glares and slams her fist onto the control panel, shutting down all the engines. As TGG says, uh-oh. As the airship quickly falls out of the sky, the view cutting the darkness.